my god, she's kicking right out. She's really ready to come out now. We are going through so much fuel. Cheese. Click. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Trusting in the process is what I'm going with. Trusting in my body, trusting in my baby, trusting in the process, and just so excited for this beautiful life event in our family. You guys, new level of sustainability unlocked. Good morning, my friends. I am officially not too long from giving birth, which is absolutely crazy. In a week's time, I am in my due month, and I'm actually due quite fairly early in the month, so it literally could happen any day now. And I thought before I go on my maternity leave and leave you guys for a little while and go MIA on comments and all the other things, that I would, you know, have one last catch up, check in with you guys, cook together one more time in my kitchen before my little hiatus. Don't worry though, there'll be plenty of videos. I've been working overtime trying to get lots edited and scheduled so that you guys have lots to catch up on while we have a bit of a rest and get to know our new bub. And then yeah, we'll be back with all the big projects as we can fit them in. I think I'm finally getting the nesting instinct because I've just given my stovetop a really good clean. I'm still yet to do the edges around. And I've given my dishes a really good wash. I think I've cleaned this stove maybe 3 times in the last month, which is really unusual for me. Usually it gets really disgusting before I get onto it. So I'm definitely trying to keep the house more clean. I fixed my vacuum cleaner, so now I can get into all the nooks and crannies around the house as well. And just feeling really ready for baby. So let me talk you through some of the things I'm hoping to make today. Today is really going to be a freezer filling day, meal prep kind of day, so that I have breakfasts, lunches and dinners all ready to go for when baby comes. I'm noticing as it's getting closer and closer, it's getting harder and harder for me to be motivated to cook. Like, I'm still motivated here and there, but it's a lot easier to pull something out of the freezer and be able to feed myself, Sam, and then have lunch sorted for him. So we're going to start with a wellness shot. This is just a mix of turmeric, ginger, lemon, orange, pepper to bring out the nutrients from the turmeric and make it easier to absorb, and water. And it's really delicious and it's really good for immunity boosting because I am not getting sick right before I give birth. So good. It's like a little bit spicy from the turmeric and the ginger, but because of all of like the apple, orange and citrus, it's just really refreshing. Really good for you too, and hardly costs anything. So we're going to start off with some pork dishes. These are going to be great as lunches and also as like quick grab and go protein packed snacks. We've made both of them on the channel before, but haven't made them for quite a while, but they're definitely favorites. So I'm going to make a barbecue pulled pork, and I'm also going to make Bilishi, which is a Russian meat stuffed pastry. Since we have been on the road and we had those rats coming and nesting at the back of our bus, we had to stop buying food in bulk. Absolutely devastating, and this has meant that I'm always short on ingredients. So today, to make my Bilishi, I am reluctantly having to halve my recipe, but I'll include the full recipe for you guys for the Bilishi dough down in the description below. The dough is super versatile and can be used for both meats as well as just filled with fruit like cherries, apples and pears go really well in this. Now that we are back on the hill and establishing our new homestead, I have rediscovered my love for bread making, and hopefully that'll mean I'll find a way to do sourdough again, as I so miss the slowness and the connection of the process. Can you guys see the cows just hanging out in the background? How cute is that? And we'll give that all a mix. How good's my view today? Alright, let this sit, and it's definitely bubbly, so you can add everything together. Alright, while that's resting in the fridge, I'm going to move on to doing my pulled pork. It's just going to be really easy because it just needs to be cut up, cooked, have the paste put on it, which is all the flavour, and then cooked for a while on the stovetop. So that can be doing its thing while we do the next thing. And I just wanted to update you on how our solar situation is going, because that has been probably the thing we've needed the most while living off-grid, and also one of the harder things to accomplish. I'll get into it in a minute. Hold on. So other than our water, I think solar has been the bigger challenge, and that's mostly because Sam and I are fairly tied down to technology. We grew up in the tech age, or just as it came in, and also our work is online, our resting time is online, like through watching movies or Netflix, YouTube, whatever, or whether it's, you know, gaming for Sam or just pottering around on the internet for me, researching. And so what we kept noticing happen is that we would run the generator almost every day in winter time. Summertime we would be able to get away with maybe like 2 days before we run the generator, but like that's just not happening in winter time. And that's an issue because we are going through so much like fuel and petrol to run the generator that it doesn't really feel sustainable. It costs a lot of money, and it's just like a constant job that we have to go and do when we don't want to do that. Like, we want our solar to run our life. So now that we're back, we've actually been in touch with Craig once again, who designed our original system, and we are getting a upgrade. I'm sure actually as you're watching this, we probably have already shared the video, whether on our channel or Craig's channel, of the upgrade, which is really exciting and is already noticeably making a difference. It won't mean we're completely like away from the generator, but it'll make a huge difference in summer to being able to run our air conditioning to keep us cool, because this summer was pretty brutal. Figure out how to use you later. Just put you there for now. As I said, I'm doing a bulk batch, so definitely got a lot of pork. Should we brown it? I think yes. Between the diesel heater being as efficient as it is, being a lot closer to where like our lifestyle revolves around, and now also this solar upgrade, our fuel bill is going to go down from 1,000. I'm going to say it's going to be halved, if not more. I'll keep you guys updated, but that's a huge cost saving, and also just pressure off of having to get that petrol and fuel, and more self-sufficiency, which we love. So we're really excited for these upgrades. I love cooking on cast iron because it just heats up so well. My best suggestions for using it is to let it really heat up. Then put your oil in, let the oil heat up before you cook your meat. And then as far as all of the delicious burnt bits on the bottom, you can just use some liquid, whether it's wine, whether it's vinegar, whether it's water, stock, like a broth would work as well. and then you can just scrape it off. Just make sure you're not using metal. I like to use the lid as a bit of a plate so I'm making less mess. Once the meat is fully cooked, it actually comes off really easily. And if your pan's starting to get too hot, just move it off the flame. Or turn your flame down. Ours we're going to move off. Alright, while that's cooking away, we're going to make our sauce. So I'm going to start with my rhubarb barbecue base for a bit of sweetness. Then some homemade Worcestershire sauce, which we're almost out. I got some leftover tomato paste from something I made the other day. There's like a tablespoon. I don't know, I'm kind of winging it, guys. Then we're going to do a tablespoon of oregano, a tablespoon of smoked paprika, a tablespoon of coriander, maybe a tablespoon of onion powder. I have some crushed up mustard seeds. Okay. Might do half a tablespoon. Half a tablespoon of chili flakes. We'll do 2 heaped teaspoons of mustard. Whoa. It smells amazing. I'm going to do the last of the pork now, because I'm done. Garlic. Our general store didn't have normal garlic, so they gave me elephant garlic, and it's just massive. So big. Garlic. And salt and pepper. Maybe some olive oil. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Alright, so we're going to add our meat back in. Ah. I'm going to add a cup of water, scrape off the deliciousness at the bottom, add our spice mix, and I think more liquid would be good, because this is thick, like a paste. So I want it to slightly cover the pork. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's going to be so good. Love pulled pork. Miss doing it out of our own pigs, but soon. Next breeding season, maybe. Okay. I do a very generous heaping of salt for these. Just tastes better. Whatever doesn't fit into our Bilishi, especially because we did a half batch, can just be turned into little meatballs and fried up on some oil, and it makes really delicious meatballs. There is a lot of onion. Oh my god. I've shared it before and I'll continue sharing it. I always save my veggie scraps, especially onions and carrots, in a Ziploc bag. This literally just gets filled up again and again. It doesn't get washed, it doesn't get put away. Like, this just exists in our fridge. Sorry, this just exists in our freezer. And anytime we want to make a broth or a stock, which we do very often with chicken bones, lamb bones, any bones that we have, we just chuck a big handful of this, and then you never feel guilty about having to peel off huge bits of skin, or leaving the end that you can't be bothered cutting anymore, or having extra onion can go in here as well. So yeah, this is a huge time saver and also grocery saver. Alright, let's check our dough. That is looking much better. And as we cook with it now, it'll keep expanding and just be beautiful. Just real quick, I'm going to restock my veggies. Oh my god, we've only got one cucumber left. It's crazy. That's fine. That is fine. Chilies. Alright, I'm going to swing you guys around this way because I am definitely sitting down for this part. It's going to take a while. Water is not going to be your friend. Oiled hands will be. So I put a bit of oil on my hands. And then I just pinch off a small bit of dough. Flatten it out. The oil is very helpful in this step. Oops, that went a little thin. One's flat. Same size little meatball inside. Squish it down. Could probably do more. That's fine. And then I fold in the sides. And then flatten it again. Okay, my first one was a bit aggressive, but it'll be okay. So that's what it looks like when it's done. We deep fry them. I think you could chuck them in the oven probably, and they'd be nice too, but personally I love deep fried Bilishi. I really noticed my love and passion for homesteading returning since we've been on this property. Like, I just want to bake all the breads and I want to make cheese again, and I'm currently actually making our own cultured butter as well as yogurt. I'll show you guys some of that later, but it's the first time I'm making it, so who knows how it'll go. And I don't have any special machines or things, like I'm just going to do it on the stove top and with my hands. But yeah, it's just been so lovely to reconnect with my passions and what I love doing. My brain really has been focused on baby and getting my body prepared, so now that we're here, it just, yeah, I feel real accomplished. We've got a lot of big dreams and goals for this property. Currently we're working on the fencing around the house yard. As you saw, we've got cute little cows that come and visit us, but they get into the compost pile and my gardens are just not going to survive them, so there's just no way I'll be starting gardens until that's all fenced off. which is fine because it's forcing me to slow down, and Sam as well, so he's not rushing into it. But a chicken coop is also going to be something we work on in the next little while. So that fence and the chicken coop, and then just getting some of the beds, the garden beds, ready to rest over winter time, ready for fresh soil and all the love come springtime. Springtime really doesn't feel like it's that far away. I mean, right now we're at the end of June going into July, and I feel like July and August are just going to fly for us. And before you know it, we'll all be planting out our gardens again and getting excited for summer. I'm especially excited for summer now, knowing that our air conditioner is going to be able to run easier. For those that are interested in our birth as well, we're actually planning on having a very gentle birth in the hospital. I don't think it's very practical to birth our baby in our bus with our dogs running around and just the space restrictions. So we are doing it in the maternity ward at our hospital, which is really forward thinking and is really encouraging of women and physiological births as well, especially if everything's going well with your pregnancy. My team has just been beautiful, and I'm really excited. We're going to have a gentle birth, which means limited interruptions from other people, limited talking, limited monitoring, just allowing me and Sam to be in our little love bubble to bring baby into the world, and just encourage all of those natural hormones to do what they're built to do. Have baby and the uterus talking to one another, the brain, and just give everything a chance to progress naturally. Of course, I'm aware of all options if things do go wrong, because things can go wrong. You just never know. I could be just struggling with the process, or perhaps just not in a great mental state, even though I've been practicing. So yeah, knowing my options makes me feel confident that if things were to go wrong, both Sam and I are aware of what we would be happy trying out as the next steps, what we'd be more cautious of because it would interfere other things, and yeah, just hoping everything progresses as it should. Trusting in the process is what I'm going with. Trusting in my body, trusting in my baby, trusting in the process, and just so excited for this beautiful life event in our family. I just can't believe how quick it's coming now. I really do feel like it's coming quickly. I'm 38 weeks by the end of this week, which is insane, and literally have 2 appointments left with my midwife before the due date. It's been slow but quick at the same time, hasn't it? Okay, so these I now put into the freezer so that they can create a bit of a crust on them, and then I can put them into a Ziploc or a silicone bag, just stacked one on top of the other or beside one another, so that they can be ready to go and fried whenever we want. It is so good having a chest freezer on the bus. Definitely one of the best things we ever chose to do. Let's check on our pork. Oh, yum! Oh my god, that smells amazing. I wish you guys could smell it. Of course, it needs more time, so we'll just let it do its thing. Alright, I'm out of dough, but I still have quite a bit of mixture, so we're going to make those meatballs I was talking about. Something I completely forgot to mention though is the Russian name for these meatballs is Katletki. So if you've been here for a while, or if you just watched our massive 1 hour long 3 years of the first Homestead video, then you may have heard me mention that one of our pigs was named Katletka, and that's because that's my favourite pork dish, so making these is definitely not an issue. The little onion bits get all like cooked and caramelized on the outsides, and it's just so juicy and delicious. Like, These are 10 out of 10. I don't think I've ever made Katletki on our channel before, so this is nice. Now we're gonna have to make some ramen, make some tonkotsu to honor our other pig. Oops. Alright, it's been about 2 to 3 hours and you can see that the pork is very tender. So I'm just going to turn it off. Give it some more salt if it needs. Add some more Worcestershire if it needs, and just break it apart and mix it into the sauce. If you have a metal potato masher, that would work really well for this as well. So the way we would eat this pulled pork would be the same way we eat our shawarma, our souvlaki meat, chicken schnitzel, whatever. You can literally put it on anything. You could put it on sandwiches, on salad. You could make homemade sushi with it, rice paper rolls. What else? You could put it on a rice bowl. Like, it's just a really great one to have in a container. You can store it in the freezer and then get out a container as you need it. And then, yeah, just fry it up to warm it up, or if you've got a microwave, you could use that. You could have it traditionally like they would in like a bun with some coleslaw. That would be yummy. Yeah. The world is your oyster. Oh, here's an update. So I actually want your advice. Now that we've got a solar upgrade and we can use solar to cook because it means we don't have to buy gas as often, I want to know, would you guys prefer a convection oven or an air fryer or a pressure cooker? So all three. I might even put up a poll that comes out when this video comes up and you guys let me know. But we've been trying to pick between the three. I guess we can get more than just one and just store it somewhere. But I really miss baking. I miss having pizza, mainly. I miss having cookies, cakes. I miss being able to have a roast as well, which roasts we've been able to manage because we can cook on the fire or in a pot. But which of those three would you do? Like, we do fry things at times as well, like the Bilishi. But again, that we just do on the stove top. So I'm kind of leaning away from an air fryer. So maybe convection oven or pressure cooker, which would be like more efficient for family meals, I guess, is what I'm wanting to know. Would love to know opinions. Yum. Alright, you guys, I'm just about at my limit, but the last thing I wanted to share with you that I guess I'm making today, not sure if I'll really show much because there's not much to the process, but I ended up putting some leftover yogurt into some cream. And I'm letting this sit on the bench for a couple of days. This is going to turn into cultured cream. And I'm actually going to turn it into some cultured butter. There's a few different methods you can use to separate the buttermilk from the butter itself. You can get like a little device where you like spin it and it spins around the buttermilk and the butter until it separates. You could probably use a blender. You could shake it for a really long time. I'm going to keep it super simple with a tool that I have handy and that I know works well. So I'm going to use a whisk attachment on my blender and I'm just going to keep whisking it until it separates. The buttermilk I will use to make either pancakes or crepes. I'm leaning towards pancakes and then maybe freezing them so I can just reheat them really quickly in the mornings. I think that would be really nice. And And then of course the butter, we're going to add some salt and use it. I'm really excited to give this a go, and I'm surprised that I haven't done it sooner. Let's try to make some butter. We now have whipped cream, but we're not stopping there. Right now this is maybe 8-10 minutes of beating. Still not there. So it looks like the color's starting to change, and I definitely see more like graininess. So this might be starting to get close now. So now I can start to see buttermilk and the butter all separating, which is freaking awesome. Wow, I think we're almost there. My machine is so hot. Oof. Alright, so at this point we're getting buttermilk, so I'm gonna start straining it. Actually, I might even use a nut milk bag. I'm gonna scoop the solid butter into here. Wow. And inside it should look, wow, that already looks so good. Holy moly. Wow, we made butter, you guys. That was really not that hard. Bowl. And then this we still need to wash out so it stores better under cold water. And what it makes is extra buttermilk too. So, yeah. There's my butter. So good. You guys, new level of sustainability unlocked. Buttermilk and homemade butter. Looks absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to taste it on some bread and make some delicious pancakes too. The process wasn't hard, it was just kind of time consuming. If you've got an extra 10 minutes and you don't mind staying there and like churning it, if you've got a stand mixer, I think it would be a lot faster as well. But not too bad considering this is cultured butter, which would normally go for like $20 in a Whole Foods shop. And this is buttermilk, which I mean essentially is a waste product of making butter, which I get for free. So I think that's a really great cost saving. So this is about 500 grams of butter, and it probably cost me, how much did I pay for the cream? Like, I think I couldn't find Tilba milk, so the best I could find was like a $3 standard tub of milk. So $3, 500 grams of butter. That's a pretty good price considering it's going for like $8 at the moment. Bit of hard work never hurt anyone, right?